Hi, I'm Crystal Reiki Healer, aka Athena Barry, and today we're going to talk about something that really affects all of us, especially in these times during this pandemic, and that is how to heal from grief. Now, grief healing is different for everybody, but I've got some wonderful ideas that really help raise your vibration and help you release that sense of attachment to your loss, whether it's from a loved one, a friendship, a job, a home, or even simply a way of life. So please go ahead and hit the notification bell and subscribe. And at the end, please comment with how this resonated for you. Thank you for watching, and I so look forward to healing together. When we lose a loved one or a pet, or someone close to us, or even a friendship, we really feel that loss. And a lot of the times, what happens is you can slip into that sense of apathy and depression, these lower vibration feelings. And we want to raise you out of that because your mental and your physical, your emotional, your spiritual health, they're all connected. And so when one part of your being is lower vibrational, that affects everything in your life, including your physical health, including your mental health. So we want to make sure that we release this loss of attachment and really start to feel better. And even if it's a slow process day by day, that's okay. Allow yourself time and patience to heal. I had heard once before from someone, I can't remember who had told me that it's not the person that we are grieving per se, but grieving that loss, that hole in our life, that absence, and that hole left behind. And this really resonated for me because, I've lost quite a few over the years, as it happens, and it was always their presence in my life and that feeling of love that I had with them when they were near that I really missed. So I had to work through my own grief, and in doing so, especially the loss of my grandmother or my uncle, it really helped me to overcome this grief from them because I was so close to them. And it really helped me with these different methods, and I know they're going to help you too. So please go ahead and find yourself a nice safe place. If you need to cry and release, please do. You are in a safe space to do that right here, and it really is part of your healing. Every time we cry, we are releasing those pent-up feelings that we have inside. So go ahead and just let them out, get your tissues nearby, and let's get started on what I think is a really important and really valuable ritual that you can use to help yourself heal from grief too. So for the ritual I like to use for healing from grief, you'll need just a pen and paper, and if you would like, you can also use an intention candle. And I have some other videos on intention candles if you want to look on how to do that. But for this one, really your intention is that you are holding space for the love between you and the one that you have lost. Now you'll want to choose an element that you want to work with for this ritual. I really like to use fire. I feel like it releases the energy out to the universe fast. But I'm also a fire sign, so that might be why too. Always please be careful. If you are working with fire, you want to make sure that you use a fire-safe pot. If you are able to, you may also want to write down the things that you were grateful for regarding this person or experience or pet. Once you have finished writing your letter, go ahead and take a moment to read it back to yourself. You can do this out loud or in your head. It doesn't really matter. Just read it back to yourself so it really resonates for you and allows you to release these feelings of loss that you've been holding on to. And then you'll want to go ahead and fold up your paper and light it with the intention candle and go ahead and drop that into the pot. And as you're lighting it, I want you to hold on to that moment of gratitude. Gratitude that your message is being received. Gratitude that you are releasing these emotional blockages, and gratitude for yourself for taking the time to allow yourself to heal. Now, everybody always asks, well, what do I do with the ashes now that I've done that? Well, or if your case, maybe you tore up the letter and you put it in water. I really like either flushing the ashes or burying them outside, or even dumping them in a trash can outside of your home. The point is, you want this energy to be away from you. You don't want to hold on to this grief. You want to let it go. A really nice way to help with your grief is also, especially from a loved one, is to ask for signs. Now, I'm a real believer in angels. I'm a real believer in the idea that life is not just over because we die. I believe there's a next phase. What that next phase is, it's up for argument. I have no idea. I don't think anyone else here does either. Although faith really is a powerful thing. I'm going to go over a few crystals with you that I find really help with the grieving process and releasing emotional pain, hurt, anger, and all the emotions that are associated with grief. It's okay, whatever emotion that you feel, but crystals can be a wonderful support to help balance those, so you don't have rage taking over when you're supposed to be focused at work. These crystals can be a wonderful support in helping you to either soothe anxieties, release that emotional attachment, and as well as feel connected to your loved ones. Now, one of my favorites for connecting with loved ones is the jade. The stone of jade is really wonderful for your heart chakra, and this also helps you to connect with your ancestors. So anytime I'm working with a client for Reiki who has lost, especially like a mother or a grandmother, I will bring jade into, or even a sibling from their childhood, I will bring jade into their crystal grid to help them connect with their loved one, and just to help them have that sense of connection. Because a lot of the time after we lose them and we, this connection, we feel like it's lost, but it's not lost, it's there. So jade is a really wonderful one. It helps soothe that heart chakra and helps you connect with your ancestors. It's great to hold while you're meditating, or if you're creating a crystal grid, or if you're doing Reiki. This one is really nice to hold on to. Another one that's really great that I love is malachite. Malachite is really wonderful as well for trauma. So if you have some kind of grief related to trauma, perhaps as from childhood, or perhaps you had an abusive partner and you're grieving the loss of the girl you were before that happened, or the man you were before that happened. Malachite is really wonderful for your throat chakra, but also your solar plexus, giving you back that strength and that sense of inner strength to help you get through the process of grieving. Malachite also helps kind of reopen your heart to love again. So this is especially wonderful for people who are dealing with perhaps a breakup, or the loss of a spouse, or even a child. Malachite works on that heart chakra and your solar plexus, giving you that sense of strength once again, giving you your inner strength and opening your heart to be able to love again. Apache tears is a really wonderful stone to work with when healing with grief as well. This really helps open the floodgates and release those pent-up emotions that whether it's anger or pain, and helps you release that, but in a healthy way, and invites in that sense of tenderness. This works more on the lower chakras, but your heart as well, so your heart chakra, your sacral, and your root chakras. And this really also helps kind of center and ground yourself. So a really wonderful crystal to work with when you are feeling that sense of loss, and you don't know how to release it, and it's just bottling up inside of yourself. This is a really great one to help you release and bring back in that tenderness. Lepidolite is a really wonderful crystal that I also like to incorporate for people who are struggling with grief, and especially when they have anxiety attached to that grief. Now, this does work with your higher chakras, but it also activates your heart center, activates that heart chakra, so that you really, not just are you releasing, but it's soothing all those like heavy emotions, helping you to release a sense of anxiety, helping you to feel more open to love again, and really is very gentle and soothing for your nervous system in general. So if you've got a lot of anxiety and sleeplessness over your grief, this is a really wonderful crystal to work with, and it's pretty easy to find as well. Rhodonite is a beautiful crystal. If you can see it here, it's got some pink in there. This one is pretty dark, but this one is really nice as well for emotional healing, helping you to see the silver lining of situations, and assisting you in knowing that there is somewhere to move on to. This is kind of gives you that inner strength, so that you know you can carry on, and allows you to move into whatever the next phase is of your life, as well as any kind of emotional trauma or healing that you may be dealing with as well. Amazonite is really nice as well for grief. This one is especially helpful for your heart and your throat chakra. So this can be really a soothing and amazing stone for people who have words that have been left unspoken. So perhaps it is healing from a relationship that went south, or perhaps it's healing from a relationship went south and then they passed away. And now all of these things that you wanted to say are just kind of stuck there. That it lowers our vibration beyond, because now we have grief and we have guilt and we have thoughts and words unspoken. So Amazonite is really nice at helping you to release that. This might be a good stone to keep with you when you are doing your letter burning ritual, as it activates your throat chakra. So that will help you to speak from a place of love and help you to really say what you have in mind. Sometimes it's hard to express what we're feeling, and this one really helps us to do that. But because it activates the heart center as well, it makes sure that you are doing this from a place of love, because love is the highest vibration, and that is what is going to help you heal. Smoky quartz is really wonderful for grounding, especially after you have lost someone that is close to you, or a pet even. These ones, we don't know our place anymore. We feel lost without this person or this pet, or this friendship in our life. And this one is really good at helping us to get centered and get grounded again. But it also helps with releasing those unspoken resentments. So if you're harboring any resentment towards someone that you have lost, even if it's just a relationship or it's someone who has passed, either way, if you're holding on to that resentment, smoky quartz is really helpful in allowing you to release that resentment while keeping you grounded and centered. But for this one, we're going to finish with black onyx. Black onyx is just an incredible inner strength stone. It works on activates your third eye, your solar plexus, and your root chakras, which really is opens up that understanding, and then gives you back that inner strength while being grounded. And this one is especially helpful for soothing those feelings of frustration and anger associated with your grief. Grief has many stages of healing, and one of those you may find to find yourself in a state of anger or frustration. And that's okay. It is part of the cycle, but black onyx is really wonderful to help temper those frustrations and allow you to release them in a way that's healthier, in a way that doesn't in turn hurt yourself or hurt other people that you love. So this one is maybe one of my favorites also in dealing with grief, just for getting that inner will and allowing you to know that there is a cycle of birth, life, and death, and that we too can carry on, and we will go on, and we will go on with strength and purpose and with the will to do so. So this is a wonderful crystal to pick up if you're dealing with any of those feelings of frustration or anger. And finally, it's not just about having these crystals, but what to do with them. And one of the things that is really great to do with them is to hold them while you meditate. Meditation is another wonderful tool for healing from grief. One of my meditation teachers that I had seen back in the day had lost a son, and she had been so overcome by her grief of the loss of her child. She had turned into, a complete state of apathy and depression. And I thought, oh my gosh, rightfully so, it's your child. But what was really amazing and the strength of this woman is that she was able to take her grief and turn that around and use it during meditation to help other people heal, to help others going through this, whether they were dealing with the guilt or the anxiety or the anger. Meditation is a really wonderful way to just pause those emotions. And in that pause, just as with anything else in life, it's in the pause that you really gain clarity and peace of mind, and it eases your heart center. So during your meditation, it's really wonderful to focus on your breath, or if you would like to hold mudra with your hands, these are especially helpful, and you really just focus on where your fingers touch. That can be your point of focus. You can also use your breath. Your breath is a really wonderful thing of focus also because it's always there, right? And because on the in cycle and on the out, you can always return your focus back to your breath. Now, if you are newer to meditation, I have another video on meditation that will help you get started. But if you are well on your way, just know that this is a wonderful tool that you can use to overcome your grief as well. And a lot of people, myself included, and my sister and loved ones and clients and everyone in between, I've had many messages from people about how they receive messages. They'll either hear something from a loved one, sometimes they'll have a vision of that loved one, sometimes they'll have a vision of something associated with that person. And a lot of the times in that moment of pause, when you're able to completely clear your mind of thoughts and pain or fears or anger or just loss in general, that heartache, meditation really gives you a break from that emotional response that we have during grief. So being able to just put a pause on that emotional cycle is such a lifesaver for our emotional, our spiritual, and our physical health. And sometimes people will have, like I said, they'll receive messages or have a vision or even hear something or a smell of a loved one that's passed. Just kind of letting them know that they are there, and you can release that attachment to not having them there anymore. That hole in your heart, you can begin to heal that hole and move on to all the joys that life still has for you and all the love that you still have to share with other people. I wrote a book called Raise Your Vibes, which really has so many different things in there that can help, but there's an entire chapter on healing from grief that I think you'll find very helpful. I'll have a link below that you'll be able to order it. I highly recommend this. It's so helpful in helping yourself to heal in so many ways for so many aspects of our lives. Please remember to be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself as you heal from grief. Everybody experiences a little differently, and just be sure that however you are choosing to deal with your grief, you're doing it in a constructive and a positive way. I think you'll find that these rituals, whether you're holding crystals during meditation or writing a letter to a loved one, you'll find that the more you start to do this, lighting your intention candle, you'll notice that your vibration begins to shift back into the positive. Know that you are so worthy of love. You are so worthy of feeling better and healing, and you will. And by taking an active role in your own self-care, taking an active role in your healing from grief, you will see too, little by little, you'll be able to stand back up in your strength, you will feel better, and you will begin to live your life from a place of love. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I am here for you. If this grief is more than you feel you can bear, please feel free to reach out to me at www.crystalreikihealer.com, and we can book a Reiki session together. I can create a crystal grid for you to help you ease your feelings of grief. And I love you so much. I'm wishing you so many blessings and that you heal from a place of love. Thank you for watching.